Hey y'all, Noah. Everyone who reads it must converse is the channel. Today I'm going to go through a little bit of everything. Stuff that I've gotten here at the end of the year, announcements for the beginning of the year, some awesome stuff to show, some books that I'm really excited about, and things that are yet to come out. 2023 new releases, right? Let's get to it. Hey y'all, Noah. Everyone who reads it must converse is the channel. What an awesome end of the year. I've been going crazy. Everything's wild. So I figured I'm going to do a big video here. Don't worry, there's timestamps. There's different sections if you want to jump around. And then this next Friday live, I will do a kind of my favorite books or disappointing reads for 2022, right? So that'll give me the whole hour to talk through books, and I'll just go through the year in reading and what it kind of meant to me. But first thing that I wanted to start this one off with is I did finish my short story, right? Yay. I mean, I started for NaNoWriMo, and it took me over a month and a half to finish the short story. It was a final rewrite, and I'm really, really happy with it. There's a few people that have read it already and give me some feedback, invaluable feedback. And so I'm really, really happy with where it's at, and I feel like it is completed, and that will be that'll be available soon. I haven't really pinned down how I'm gonna make that happen, short of just you give me an email and I'll send you the file, right? it's like a 4-pager. There's nothing to it. It's short, but like I said, I'm really, really happy with this story. Can't wait to share it with people. One of the things that came, we'll jump right into some haul action here after that little announcement, because there's an author that I don't know anything about, but I've heard over the last year, maybe more than a year, how awesome and everything just sounds like right up my alley. I need to experience this writer, and it's Jan Fosse, a Norwegian writer, and I went ahead and got and asked for the Septology. This is the other name, I is another, and a new name. You might have seen this. I got turned on to Jan Fosse from Celia, and Sean, most recently, Sean at Travel Through Stories. And I can't, watch the video because I'm not going to spoil myself on something amazing, right? I'm not going to spoil myself on something, an amazing piece of literature that you have to experience for yourself, right? So I'm waiting, but Sean's video just made me crack. I said enough. I'm not gonna wait anymore. This is I gotta experience what Jan Fosse is doing. It seems like a really cool story, really weird and meta in a way. It's about a doppelganger in some kind of way, if I'm not mistaken, in a Norwegian town. A character has a doppelganger, and that's where the exploration comes from, starts, or at least. Seems weird, but the prose is something that seems unique, and you just have to experience it, right? So I'm going for it. Another thing, book-wise, that came through with the holidays was completing my Alan Moore Promethea set, so I can read this series now. I have 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 is what I got. These two here. So now, along with number 5 here, that's the full series. I can read it, and I'll let you guys know. From what I understand, it is exploring more of like what Alan Moore did with Dr. Manhattan in The Watchmen, where it is a God-like being. This being isn't even a superhero or anything like that. It is a straight up God that can do whatever it wants to, can create things, can destroy or just manipulate physics in ways, things like that. Just completely unbound. Promethea, I believe the main character being an Egyptian goddess. So that's very cool. I was really excited to get that so that then I can experience what Alan Moore is doing with that. Alan Moore is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, living author right now. I mean, just an amazing writer. One thing that Emily got me that is really awesome, and one of these things that you didn't know that you wanted, but this is like a book lover's dream, okay, is this leather case. Do you see this? Bound just in with leather straps like this, a long strap around, and you open it, and there is a bit just a piece of protective cover kind of paper, a thin cardboard, thin cardstock kind of paper, and then it's these individually bound blocks here, individually tied in blocks, thick paper, kind of thick, definitely textured and very rustic and cool. And even now, like, I can smell it. Even just opening it up and doing this is like the smell of just, if you can imagine, wonderful paper, awesome leather. The leather is so soft. You see this, and there's a little place for a pen. I'm going to change it out, maybe put one of my tug pens in there. The pens that you come with this, I would assume, are just kind of okay. It's all about the leather work and the quality of the book, right? Of the paper and things like that. But who knows? Maybe that pen is all right. I haven't tried to write with it yet. And when I opened this and looked at it, I was just like, oh yes, like, I mean, I'm in love with this book already. It feels like it's destined for intimate writing, very personal, very, this could be dreams. This could be, writing, writing exploration and just ideas that may or may not go anywhere more than just inside myself. But this is a kind of thing that seems and feels already so intimate and so personal because of just the quality and knowing that, like, we've had this relationship with animals and trees and nature since before words. Okay, this is not ancient, this is prehistoric, and who knows, or maybe beginningless in that kind of way. It's amazing. It's an amazing book, amazing little, don't you call it a journal, it ain't a diary, all right? But it's done by Moonster Handmade Leather. I wasn't aware, like I said, Emily had found it, and thank you. Awesome. Another thing that is coming up, that's it for the haul. I just wanted to show the bookish things, all right? And what a cool find that is, to tell you the truth, right? Something that we're kicking around for the beginning of the year. This is between me and another content creator that does not have a YouTube channel yet. We might kick off a YouTube channel together with content of reading Miss MacIntosh, My Darling. It is a gigantic work. Miss MacIntosh, My Darling is written by Marguerite Young. She was a student and teacher at the Iowa Writers Workshop. We have a preface here by Anais Nin. And I mean, it just, the kind of things you hear about this book are a genius, a massive accomplishment, things like this. But how could you ever assume, what would be in these pages? Okay, it's 1,600 pages. You could never. I can't wait to kind of get my my bearings with this. You know how I love big books, right? And next year. Don't really know how the channel's going to go thematically and what I might be getting into, but that right there is something that we are still kicking around the idea. It's in its infancy, but just thinking about it, Jack and I were already kicking around reading Miss MacIntosh, My Darling at the end of the year 2022. It didn't happen. So, I'm chomping at the bit. I'm not gonna be able to put it off too much longer. So a project, reading it aloud and sharing it with the community, that is perfect. You know what I mean? The perfect way to get into it. Slow play it through the beginning of the year, right? But we really do know how to kick off the year right. With 2022, I kicked off the year with Flannery O'Connor, Christy Louise Dostoevsky in Space, Tiffany at Beautiful Minutia, and Victoria at A Musical Bookworm were with me to kick off Flannery O'January 2022, and I read The Violent Bear It Away. It was a second read for me. Read it, with anybody who wanted to read along. This year, and here's, any excuse to show you my first edition, The Violent Bear It Away. I love this book. So we're going to, this year, we have Una at the Codex Cantina along for the ride with us, and we're going to be doing a read of Flannery O'Connor's first novel, Wise Blood. This is a great novel. And not only is it a great novel, it was adapted into a great movie by John Huston, and Brad the Riff gives an amazing performance. So we're probably going to read it. We're going to open it up to everybody, just kind of a month-long read-along. Read it whenever you want. By the end of the month, we will have read it, talked about it, watched the movie probably, and then we're going to do a kind of wrap up, just everybody geek out on Flannery O'Connor. That's not the only thing going on. We're going to kick off Flannery O'January with a live on the 1st. That'll be Sunday. I'll do it on my channel here. We're going to do it this coming Sunday. And we'll all be, kind of talking about what we're going to do, because Una and I together, he has a copy of this Flannery O'Connor's cartoons as well. So we're going to be going through this, and we'll have some content ideas, I'm sure, for how to share and explore Flannery O'Connor's work in the high school and college papers when she was doing some simple cartoons. But with O'Connor, what you're getting is some very biting wit and satire, right? I mean, just this kind of tongue-in-cheek, glib. We'll see. I can't wait to get into that. We'll have some more to share on that. If anybody else has access to Flannery O'Connor's cartoons, feel free to get into that, and then you can contribute to the conversation maybe, right? So I had brought up Jack for talking about Miss MacIntosh, My Darling. Also, Jack just came out with, Jack at Rambling Raconteur did a favorite Argentinian authors, and this kind of thing is happening over the next year as well, because I've remained strong in my Borges reading. I've been reading through Borges poetry. I love it, and I'm going to continue with the Borges, but I'm going to expand it to the wider Argentinian writing, because there's just too much that I'm interested in. Case in point, this year I came into contact and received this book, Borges editing, and Silvina Ocampo and Adolfo Bioy Casares editing, a short story collection here that is just crazy. It's got everything good in it. So many amazing authors and selections from Borges, and also the husband-wife power or literary power couple, Ocampo and Casares. So gonna get into that a bit more. But along with that, Jack really turned me on in his video he said that Julio Cortazar is by far his favorite short story writer from Argentina. Argentina. I don't know if I have that just right because, you know, Borges writes short stories. And, you know, what a undisputed master. But I have not read Cortazar, and I had gotten blow up because Jack had done some videos talking about Cortazar short stories and really champion his work, but I never got to it. Now it's up on the priority list, okay? Because give it to me. And I'm writing more and more. And with writing, I think these shorter works, short stories, might just fit better into daily reading and whatever. You know, I mean, I don't worry about it too much. And another awesome kind of announcement, and what I'm really looking forward to for 2023 is another Argentinian writer that Jack was talking about is Roberto Arlt. And Arlt is hard to come by, hard to get your hands on. Doesn't surprise me that Jack has the Seven Madmen and the Flamethrowers, two awesome novels that are actually two parts of one big novel. It is actually being translated. It's actually been translated. The translation is complete, and it's about to be released by my favorite Slovene press, Corona Samizdat. So that's coronasamizdat.com. That's the press website. And Roberto Arlt, the Seven Madmen and the Flamethrowers is going to be dropping like within a week or two. So I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's never been in a one solid English translation published before. This is the first time, and I've been waiting to get my hands on it, you know, and it was just so cool to hear Jack talking about how great of a book it is, the Flamethrowers especially, that I'm like, oh, come on, let me get my hands on it. So that is definitely happening 2023 as well. It's been an amazing end of the year. It's like I said, it's going to continue to be amazing. We're going to keep it going. I'll see you guys on my live on Friday. My live on Friday where I will be going through, you know, what is my favorites, what was my favorite reading, what was my disappointing reads or whatever for 2022, and we'll do this big wrap-up thing, right? Thank you very much, y'all. Have a great one. Bye-bye.